Harry and Meghan Markle facing criticism as members of the Invictus Games Foundation reveal a growing frustration with the royal couple. Let's bring in our News Nation entertainment expert, Paula Froelich, here with the scoop. Hello.
The cracks in Prince Harry's empire just got wider, and not because of Meghan's latest podcast flop or another cold shoulder from King Charles. Number this time. The humiliation came from the very place Harry thought was untouchable, his pride and joy, the Invictus Games. For years, Harry has paraded Invictus as his crown jewel, the shining proof that he was more than just a runaway prince. This wasn't about palaces or tiaras. This was about veterans, soldiers, resilience. Invictus was his redemption story, the one thing that allowed him to hold his head high after turning his back on the monarchy. But now, with the 2027 Invictus Games set to make a grand return to the UK, Harry has turned what should have been his golden homecoming into a full-blown PR disaster. Why? Because his obsession with status and security has backfired in the most humiliating way possible.
Former major in the British Army, he's well respected. He's part of the intelligence corps. He's called out the royal couple, labeling them as narcissists. Break it down for us, Paula.
It is. So this week on Twitter, Edward...
When Harry demanded royal-style protection for himself and Meghan at the Games, he wasn't just denied, he was slapped down with a line so brutal it's now gone viral among royal watchers. The Invictus CEO didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't bow to the Sussex drama. Instead, he hit Harry with a razor-sharp retort. Do you still need security in your own home? Let that sink in. This wasn't just a refusal. It was a public takedown. Insiders reveal Harry had personally lobbied the Invictus organizers, pushing for nothing less than VIP royal treatment. We're not talking about standard event protection. Oh no, Harry wanted the whole royal bubble. Snipers on rooftops, restricted access zones, taxpayer-funded escorts, the works. Basically the same full package of perks he lost the day he and Meghan quit the firm. And the audacity, it left organizers absolutely stunned. This wasn't about safeguarding veterans, world leaders, or even dignitaries. No. Harry's demand was about one thing only, shielding himself and Meghan from potential hecklers and protesters.
Here's what he said. He said, the wounded veterans of Invictus are done, utterly and irrevocably done with Harry and his wife. They've seen war, they've faced death, they've dragged their broken bodies through...
Yes, you heard that right. Harry, the self-styled soldier prince, was apparently terrified of protesters with signs. This is the same man who once donned military fatigues, who once flew helicopters in war zones. Now, he's lobbying for fortress-level protection against angry chants and embarrassing headlines. When the request landed on the desk of Invictus CEO Dominic Reed, the answer wasn't just no, it was sharp, it was humiliating. And it was leaked. This is a homecoming, not a battlefield. Do you still need security in your own home? That one remark ripped Harry's carefully polished Invictus image to shreds.
Really great. It was really all about the veterans, and that's it. He was very hands-on, and then there came Megxit, and he became less hands-on because, of course, it's overseas.
For a military veterans event, the sting couldn't have been harsher. Harry, once hailed as the brave, battle-tested royal, now reduced to a paranoid figure begging for bodyguards at his own games. Instead of standing tall as the founder of a noble event, he's been recast as a nervous man hiding behind tinted windows. And here's where it really twists the knife. Invictus organizers didn't just deny him security, they shifted the spotlight away from him entirely. They made it crystal clear, the games are for veterans, not for Prince Harry's ego. The message, wounded veterans, amputees, and their families deserve every ounce of focus, funding, and protection. Not a privileged ex-royal desperate to keep his status alive.
And they're saying, you know what? Once or twice a year, he and Meghan, or he, Prince Harry, flies in alone and swoops in to be like, these are the games, and get really great PR. And they're kind of annoyed, so...
That single shift, from Harry's games to the Veterans Games, exposed just how much his grip has slipped. This wasn't just about saying no to security. This was about taking the stage back from Harry. And the hypocrisy? It's glaring. Harry built Invictus on words like courage, sacrifice, resilience. But now what's he obsessed with? His own safety, VIP perks, whining about risk. Meanwhile, actual veterans, men and women who have lost limbs in combat zones, are showing up with courage that puts Harry's paranoia to shame. Critics say this whole episode has exposed the ugliest side of Harry's character. The so-called champion of soldiers now looks like the exact opposite of everything he preaches.
It's traumatizing. You know, Harry has said multiple times he just wants to dedicate his life to the charities, but this year it has not gone well. You have sent to Bali, the charity he co-founded with Prince and
And then there's the money, always the money. Harry's demand for a royal-style security bubble wasn't just a logistical headache. It would have drained taxpayer resources in the UK. We're talking police escorts, road closures, intelligence teams, national security budgets. Think about it. Ordinary British families are struggling with sky-high energy bills and cost of living crises. And here comes Harry, who abandoned his royal duties, moved into a Californian mansion, and inked multi-million-dollar Netflix and Spotify deals, asking the very taxpayers he deserted to bankroll his paranoia. The outrage was instant and fierce. Social media lit up like wildfire. One brutal comment summed up the mood perfectly. "You left. You can't crawl back asking us to pay for your paranoia." Polls back this up too. More than 70% of Brits believe Harry and Meghan should pay for their own security when visiting the UK. To the public, this wasn't about safety, it was about entitlement.
Kind of blamed both sides, both Harry and the charity chairwoman, Sophie Chandaka, for bringing this fight public. Now, they did clear Harry of bullying. However, that's one charity. The next charity is Africa Park.
And humiliation? Oh, it's now public, quantifiable, and utterly impossible for Harry to spin. His request for VIP security didn't just get denied, it got mocked. The Invictus CEO's brutal line has become a meme, plastered across Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok edits. This is a homecoming, not a battlefield. Do you still need security in your own home? That single remark wasn't just a rejection, it was a rebuke, a smackdown, and a viral soundbite rolled into one. And then came the cherry on top. Insiders are whispering that the organizers didn't even bother referring to him as Prince Harry anymore. Instead, they've jokingly used the Sussexes' lesser-known title, the Brightons. That tiny shift speaks volumes. To the British public, Harry and Meghan no longer feel royal, no longer feel relevant. They're distant figures, grasping at the echoes of titles they walked away from.
Theater of two narcissists desperate for applause. Now, these are fighting words, and it's really kind of rough, but
no, it's not rough. It's true. Let's read it all in its glory.
And Invictus, the organizers are making one thing clear. The games belong to the veterans, not the Sussex brand. CEO Dominic Reed, backed by trustees like Rob Owen-Obi, stood firm. They won't let Invictus be twisted into an entitlement platform. By rejecting Harry's demands, they've preserved the integrity of the games. They've kept the spotlight on wounded warriors, amputees, and their families, the real heroes of Invictus. Not on a prince who traded his uniform for Hollywood red carpets, but still expects the reverence of a royal soldier. This is a shift Harry can't control. It's not just about security, it's about the narrative of Invictus itself being pulled away from him.
Sadly, I went to try to go to Edward's account. His whole account has been blocked. Did the Sussex squad get to him? Like, look at this. His whole account is gone. And you click on over, doesn't exist. Not just the tweet, the whole account. And I went through. This was a real account. He had like 7,000 followers.
Now, here's where things get really messy. The 2027 games aren't just any Invictus Games. They're being held in the UK, timed on none other than Queen Camilla's 80th birthday. Symbolism couldn't be louder if it tried. And yet, the palace remains eerily silent. Royal commentators are already speculating that Prince William won't attend at all. Why? The optics, the drama, the risk of being seen propping up what William reportedly views as nothing more than a self-serving charade. Behind the scenes, word is spreading that the Invictus Committee is quietly planning events without Harry in the spotlight. Think about that for a second. Harry, the founder, potentially sidelined from his own creation. If that doesn't sting, nothing will.
This was clearly not some bot. And a lot of photos of himself, like, this was a dude, clearly there. Anyway, thankfully here, HRH, thank you, salute for archiving this. So there we go, fame-hungry parasite he married. They face out the bodies, and now they're expected to play in the grotesque theater of two narcissists.
And so, under pressure, Harry tries a desperate olive branch. He's reportedly planning to email both King Charles and Prince William with invitations to the 2027 games. But here's the burning question. Is this a move of reconciliation or pure desperation? Royal insiders are torn. Yes, having the monarchy's stamp of approval would give veterans a boost of attention and respect, but it also risks the monarchy being seen as legitimizing Harry's mess. Would Charles look petty if he refused? Would he look naive if he accepted? This is the chessboard Harry has laid out, and for once, he doesn't hold the winning pieces.
Just desperate for applause. Meghan Markle is not a humanitarian. She is a scavenger, circling the sacred with cameras in tow, draped in designer grief, and counterfeit empathy. She turns every solemn tribute into a photo opportunity, every scar into a set piece.
Because here's the truth, Harry's legacy is crumbling. Titles gone, VIP demands rejected, Hollywood friends going silent, his Prince of Wales roots openly questioned. What's left? Invictus was supposed to be the shining proof of his worth beyond the palace. Instead, it's becoming a catalog of humiliations. By trying to make it about himself, Harry has turned a noble cause into a spectacle of rejections and diminishing influence.
The woman wouldn't know sacrifice if it bled out in front of her. And as for Harry, he had once earned our respect, but he sold it for a docuseries and a podcast that even Spotify couldn't stomach. He abandoned his regime, his regiment, his family, his queen.
And now, the Invictus Games may march on, but Harry's part in their story is shrinking fast. Once upon a time, he stood tall on podiums as the proud founder, celebrated by veterans and audiences alike. Now he's reduced to begging for VIP treatment at his own event, only to be told flatly, no. The internet wasted no time. Memes are everywhere. The brutal line, "Do you need security in your own home?" is trending, replayed endlessly as Harry's new punchline. Veterans and royal watchers alike are laughing at what he's become. A man who took a noble project and tried to bend it into his personal vanity platform. And perhaps the cruelest part? The palace is silent, utterly unbothered. It leaves Harry looking not like a rebel prince, but like a man exiled from every world he once thought he controlled.
Crawling back to the very veterans he left behind, hoping their heroism might cover the stench of his cowardice. But the veterans see through him now. He's no brother in arms. He's a cautionary tale. The games were...
And here's the brutal reality check. The Invictus Games don't need Harry anymore. They will stand tall, built on veterans' courage, resilience, and recovery, without bending to the whims of a prince who abandoned his duty but still clings to privilege. That's the sharpest cut of all. The one project that Harry thought would always be his safe haven is now proving it can survive and even thrive without him. And so, the question lingers like smoke in the air. Has Harry finally lost the one legacy he had left? Or is this just another tantrum in a long, humiliating saga before he fades into irrelevance? Because make no mistake, Invictus was Harry's crown jewel. It was the one thing he could point to with pride, even as everything else around him crumbled. But now, even that jewel is slipping from his grasp.
Built by warriors, forged in agony, sanctified by those who've suffered beyond imagining. They are not a red carpet for grifters, nor a stage for Meghan's endless performances of self-infatuation. Invictus must cast them out, not politely, not discreetly, ruthlessly, because every second they
The irony is almost too sharp to ignore. Remember, Invictus wasn't just a project, it was Harry's brainchild. It was the very thing that gave him global respect, even as scandals, interviews, and royal feuds tore at his reputation. But the tables have turned. The very people Harry once championed, the veterans, the wounded warriors, are now quietly pushing back against him. The message is clear. This isn't about you anymore. Think about how catastrophic that is for his image. Without Invictus, what's left? The Netflix deal is faltering. His memoir stirred more backlash than sympathy. His Hollywood connections have cooled. Meghan's podcast was scrapped. The Sussex brand, once painted as unstoppable, now looks like a fading echo. If Invictus distances itself completely, Harry isn't just losing influence. He's losing the last shred of credibility he had on the global stage.
remain near this sacred institution is a second too long. Our wounded deserve dignity, not drama.
And then there's the 2027 UK Games. What was supposed to be his triumphant return moment, the big homecoming, the chance to stand proudly as Invictus's founder, is now clouded in whispers. The talk isn't about honoring veterans anymore. It's about whether Harry will even dare to show his face without being booed. The British press is already sharpening their knives, waiting for the spectacle, and you can bet the public won't hold back. The moment Harry steps onto that stage, the risk isn't applause, it's jeers, protests, and more headlines branding him as out of touch. The stage he built for heroes is turning into the stage for his humiliation. And here's the gossip no one can ignore. Harry thought Invictus would always shield him, but instead it's exposing him. The founder has become the problem. The champion has become the distraction. The hero has become the punchline. This isn't just a slip, it's a collapse. Because Invictus will endure, it will flourish, it will keep honoring veterans, courage, and resilience. But Harry? He may soon find himself standing outside watching an event he once built, thrived, alive without him, and that's the tragedy and the scandal rolled into one. The prince who once wanted to be remembered for his service may now only be remembered for his entitlement, demands, and humiliations. So let's leave it hanging right there. Has Prince Harry officially lost the only legacy he had left? Or will he fight tooth and nail to cling to Invictus, even if the veterans themselves don't want him at the center anymore? Because one thing is certain, the cracks in his empire aren't just showing anymore. They're splitting wide open for the whole world to see.